You're watching NTC News, DeKalb County's only television news source, on the campus of Northern Illinois University and from the Northern Television Center. This is NTC News Tonight.
6 months after the tornado tore the town of Fairdale, nature strikes again. Good evening, I'm Janelly, Karina.
And I'm Berogan. One of the only buildings to survive the April tornado has gone up in flames. This is what it looked like yesterday around noon. 10 fire departments showed up to the scene on White Street after a neighbor called 911. Gary Wiseman, the owner of the property, only used it for storage. No one was hurt in the fire, but valuable equipment like tractors and other farming machines were ruined. We got on the scene, and it's a total loss.
I know there was some old tractor and some old type construction equipment and some tools.
All lost?
Yeah, the cause or the estimate of damage to buildings, I don't know what that building would have been worth, but as you can see, it's completely lost.
Okay, so
the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office say there may have been a propane tank inside the shed. The cause of the fire remains unknown.
NTC News has learned that as many as 800 students have quietly been getting booster shots because of the growing outbreak of mumps at NIU. There have already been 10 reported cases. All of them involve student athletes, but we've learned that on Monday, everyone in the athletic program and anyone who's been in contact with them were directed to the booster shots at the Convocation Center.
Are working with them hand in hand because they are the experts on this, and whenever you have a mumps case come up, you've got to notify them so that they can step in and contain the outbreak.
Health Services and the athletic department refuse to talk about details. The little information that is coming out is being controlled by the university's public relations office.
Sycamore police have arrested a man and are investigating a possible sexual assault. 44-year-old Mark Bauman faces 3 counts of predatory criminal sexual assault, aggravated criminal sexual abuse, and possession of firearm ammunition. Bauman's bond is set at $3 million.
Beware of flashers in the woods on the bike path behind Michael's. DeKalb police have received 3 reports over the past 2 months about a man flashing his genitals. He was last wearing a blue winter coat, gray sweatpants, and wearing a stocking cap pulled over his face.
Misfortune can strike at any time and change a family's life forever.
Darwin Minutes shows us how one house in Sycamore is trying to give grief-stricken families a temporary aid.
2, 3.
Get ready, get set, and go. Runners braved the morning frost, sporting pink jackets and even kids, to take part in the Daisy Dash, DeKalb's very own breast cancer awareness 5K. The event is organized by members of Lee Hand Drugs, where breast cancer hits close to home.
The Daisy Dash is actually named after my grandmother. Her name's not Daisy, but that was her favorite flower, and she had breast cancer.
Bringing awareness is the event's goal. There's another party that benefits, the Pay It Forward House, who receives all payments from the run. The house gives families who have a loved one in local hospitals a place to stay, sometimes free of charge. And if it looks familiar, good.
The rooms are meant to be cozy, to remind people of being at home. It may not look like your home. To me, it looks like my grandmother's home.
The idea came about after Mary Lou had a family member that needed specialized care from Sycamore's Kindred Hospital, where she noticed some people took extreme measures.
We were fortunate because we lived in Sycamore, so we could go back and forth all the time. But we found out that people were sleeping in their cars in the hot of summer and the cold of winter because they couldn't afford to go back home.
Now, if you look over my shoulder, you'll see the parking lot for Kindred Hospital, a place a family in need may find themselves. And if they're looking to find the Pay It Forward house, they won't have far to go. It is just beyond the fence over my shoulder.
The house is funded completely by grants and donations, so events like this help make sure the Pay It Forward house will stay around. This is Darwin Minnis in DeKalb with NTC News.
Thanks, Darwin. Local veterans are upset that Memorial Park is being used for something that doesn't commemorate veterans. Last month, a historic marker was placed on the corner of First Street and Lincoln Highway dedicated to DeKalb, agriculture, and corn. Veterans say Memorial Park should not be used commercially. Mayor John Ray expects the City Council will support efforts to relocate the marker. DeKalb Square downtown is being looked at as an alternative site.
It wasn't sports at the Convocation Center over the weekend. It was science.
STEM Fest brought in the young and the old. NTC reporter Brianna Flood shows us how science is a hot draw for future generations.
Robots, electricity, and learning about the anatomy of the skull and its structure are just some of the exhibits at NIU's 6th annual STEM Fest. Children of all different ages are learning in an interactive way in today's society, which relies on science and technology.
As our culture changes and more things become automated, more things become mechanized, we definitely need people who can understand how those things work, because that's where the jobs are going to be.
Something as simple as a marshmallow catapult is an activity that teaches children about the science, math, and engineering concepts behind it. STEM outreach activities are important to be hands-on because it teaches the kids to take what they've learned and also to apply it in their life and use it in ways other than how it was taught to them in the classroom.
So I think having them actually have experience solving these problems, getting their hands dirty, prepares them much more for real-world experiences.
Research shows that many Americans fall in the average area when it comes to science and math. STEM Learning Opportunities is working towards a goal to get students more interested in these subjects and think about their future.
With electricity, atoms, and electrons, those are all something that we learn in science. But instead of learning just in the book, we can have a little more fun with it.
Electrons are being put all over my body, and since electrons repel from each other, it is causing my hair to stand up. This geometrical sphere is another hands-on and visual experience where students are learning concepts about math while watching the sphere expand.
They do have an object in their teaching, and most learning opportunities are hands-on. You know, students love hands-on more than anything.
With the attendance of STEM Fest growing, it is helping to continue to build the next generation of innovators. In DeKalb for NTC News, I'm Brianna Flood.
Time for a little weather science.
And Christina Lind is here with us. So how much longer can we expect to keep those fall jackets in the closet?
Well, I would say at least for the rest of the week. This fall has definitely been nice to us in terms of those temperatures. Let's go ahead and see how tomorrow is going to look. We will stay around the upper 60s with sunshine, but will we be seeing rain this homecoming weekend? Stay with us. You're watching NTC News Tonight.
So they say it's a man's world? Well, I don't see anybody's name on it. While they were out doing their thing, we slowly changed all that. We changed all that. Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this beautiful Wednesday outside. We reached a high of around 76 degrees, and honestly, you can't beat it. That is 16 degrees above our average for this time of year. Can't ask for anything better than that. Let's go ahead and take a look outside NIU's campus. It is still a bit breezy out there. Winds up to 17 miles per hour blowing from the southwest. So it is going to be a little bit breezy on you today. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map for Wednesday. We are experiencing some rain to the north of us, and that may affect our area sometime possibly tonight. For Thursday, though, we will remain relatively dry, and for Friday, this low pressure system will be approaching our area Friday night and into Saturday. So yes, we will possibly seeing some rain for homecoming weekend. So let's go ahead and take a look once again. Wednesday night, mostly cloudy skies. Once again, a chance for those showers and thunderstorms, a low of around 49 degrees. For Thursday, sunny, pretty gorgeous out there, a high of around 64. And for Thursday night, fairly pleasant, partly cloudy out there, a low of around 43. Now let's go ahead and take a look at that 5-day forecast. We will see a little bit of a dip in those temperatures Thursday into Friday. And then here we go again, seeing those rains coming in Friday into Saturday. And then as the week goes on, we will be dropping in temperatures and it'll start to feel more like fall. That's it for weather. Now let's send it back to the desk.
Alec Karma, a suspected killer, comes to his own fatal end.
And more people are charged in the disappearance of hundreds of thousands in state money. These are today's State Lines.
A woman was killed last night in Plainfield, and the suspected killer was later hit by a car on I-55. Police were called to the domestic dispute at a home and found a woman with multiple stab wounds. A short time after, the suspect was involved in a fatal traffic crash on the interstate. Police can't say whether the crash was suicide or accidental.
Illinois prosecutors have charged 4 family members of Deborah Moore, a former state caseworker. Moore has pled not guilty to misappropriating more than $700,000. 2 of Moore's relatives have pled not guilty to felony charges of continuing the financial crimes enterprise. Police are still looking for the 2 other relatives.
The University of Illinois is asking a federal judge to dismiss a lawsuit by former women's basketball players against Illinois staff. They argue the university cannot be sued because they are immune to lawsuits. The suit alleges that the coaches created a racially hostile environment. The players want $10 million in damages.
The state's museum system is in danger of losing its national accreditation. The governor says he closed the Springfield Museum and 4 satellite sites while the budget is in deadlock. The Accreditation Commission says it has serious concerns about the museum's long-term viability. And those are today's State Lines.
The Civil War continues while Syria's president takes a trip to Russia.
And Canada takes a dramatic turn in its government leadership. Here's what's happening in today's World Watch.
The Russian and Syrian presidents met for a surprising one-on-one meeting. Russian media reporters Bashar al-Assad flew to Moscow for a conversation with Vladimir Putin on Tuesday. Reports say that the pair discussed the joint military campaign against militants in Syria.
Canada's Liberal Party is celebrating Justin Trudeau's huge victory in Monday night's election. Trudeau greeted supporters in Ottawa Tuesday after his 11-week campaign dealt a blow to the current Prime Minister, Stephen Harper. The victory cut a 4th term to Harper and his Conservative Party.
Republicans in the House may have a candidate for House Speaker, but only if they meet his demands. After pushing back against requests to seek the position, Representative Paul Ryan has decided he could do the job. He would do it if the bickering Republican causes declare their full support for his leadership.
Toyota is recalling 6.5 million cars to fix power window switches that can short circuit and catch fire. Switches on the driver's side of some models can malfunction if they did not get enough grease during the manufacturing process. And that's today's World Watch.
Welcome to NTC Sports. I'm Emily Bebe. A tough loss for the Cubs last night. They kept it tied until the top of the 6th, but the Cubbies just couldn't pull ahead. Let's take a look at how that game played out. Bottom of the first, 1-0 Mets. Kyle Schwarber hits one out to left, and that ball is gone. Schwarber's homer ties the game 1-1. Bottom of the fourth, 2-1 Mets. Jorge Soler at the plate. That ball is deep to center, and that's the Cubs with another game-tying solo home run. Mets lead 3-2. They have runners on the corners. Yoenis Cespedes ropes one to left. That's Schwarber with the drop. He just cannot make the play. Daniel Murphy slides into third, and David Wright scores on the single. Mets win 5-2 and lead the series 3-0. Let's move over to the NHL and the Montreal Canadiens' 7th win in a row against the St. Louis Blues. 2 minutes left in the first period. Blues just can't clear the puck. It trickles by goalie Jake Allen. That's Max Pacioretty with the goal. In the second, Blues still struggling to clear the puck. Montreal with some nice passing, and that's Alexander Semin with the goal from the slot. Blues, Kyle Brodziak with a shot right on. Goalie Carey Price gets a glove on it, and he's just not letting anything get by him. Here's a little insurance for Montreal. PK Subban gets a shot right on, and Torrey Mitchell puts in the rebound for the goal. That makes the final score 3-0 Canadiens. Moving back to the Cubs-Mets game for this record-tying home run, this is today's play of the day. Daniel Murphy at the plate, he drills one to right center field. He's homered in 5 straight postseason games. This play ties the record set by Carlos Beltran back in 2004 and gives us today's play of the day. That's it for sports. Ryan Mack will have more for you this same time Monday.
No more pencils, no more books,
no more teachers, dirty looks. School's out for summer.
What this place needed was better graduation rates. So we worked with schools like Henry Ford High, and now they're up 18%.
To help us do more good this year, go to unitedway.org, because great things happen when we live united.
The future is finally here. For fans of Back to the Future around the world, the countdown is over.
Today, October 21st, 2015, is the day that Marty McFly and Doc Brown landed in the future in the second film. A lot of the stuff Marty McFly saw in his future is actually reality today. The headset being worn at the dinner table, think of it, well, like Google Glasses. And video chatting, it's when Marty has a fight with his boss, is also real. That is another prediction of the future that Back to the Future nailed. Something we're still waiting for is Marty's self-lacing shoes. Speaking of waiting, in the movie, the Cubs win the World Series, ending a more than 100-year drought. After last night's loss, that prediction is in potential jeopardy.
But where are all the hoverboards and flying cars?
Several companies have tried to make the childhood favorite, but if you want to buy one now, you're stuck with wheels. NTC News Tonight is produced and directed by students here at Northern Illinois University. We want to thank you all for joining us. We hope to see you in the future.
Thanks for watching. Goodbye, everyone.